Yo, what's up YouTube? Rock on as always. I'm gonna try to make a quick video. Well, it might not be that quick. I got a bunch of albums here, but quick update from my last video since I don't get to do videos all the time. And I thought I would get into a genre of metal that a lot of people don't like, when I've come across anyway, and that's power metal, Halloween. I grew up with like a lot of the hair metal stuff first, and then I transitioned in mostly power metal and thrash metal. They kind of intertwined at the same time, and that's really the two I like the most. Yeah, I have some other bits and pieces like Rush, Queensryche, progressive, or Black Sabbath, or the new wave of British heavy metal, of course. But um, it's mostly those three. A lot of times I buy records, so or just albums in general. So I just want to give a shout out to power metal in general. It's a lot bigger in Europe, like everything else, because the U.S. music scene sucks. Um, so I'm just gonna. I don't know how many, like 12, 13, 14 albums here. I could have done a list of bands, but I'm thinking, well, I'll just do albums for now, and I limit them to one album per band and only studio albums. And so I figure I can update like more obscure ones maybe later down the road, or just different ones from these bands I list here. So I just want to get started real quick. First up, this band was power metal in a sense, from Sweden. I made a video of theirs way back 2-3 years ago, and they're very underrated. They became more hair metal, like glam, poppy metal, towards their most popular album later on in the decade. But they started out as definitely a power metal, and that's 220 volt Power Games, which is probably my second favorite one after Eye to Eye. But that's more of a glam hair metal type hard rock album. This is pure power metal. They released a song called Power Games, but it was off the next album, which is really strange. Firefall is one of my favorite songs off this album. I think, what else is on here? It's really good. Airborne Fighter, Night Without End. So if you don't know 220 volt, check out Europe later on. Like their Eye to Eye is more like Europe type stuff, but their early stuff like Power Games, the debut, it's more I don't know, it's kind of almost like a power metal, new wave British heavy metal. Not quite that heavy. It's hard to distinguish what type of band might be compared to them, but you would definitely like it. Next up, this is definitely not one of my favorites, but it's the first one I grabbed because I'm not a huge Manowar fan. I do like Kings of Metal, which just had its, I think, anniversary yesterday, and Fighting the World. I have both of them, but I just grabbed this since I organized all my vinyl over there. They used to be in crates on the floor. I can just see them real easily. Now they're in shelving, and I can't tell where they're all at. So I grabbed this one instead. Only one on this band or list that's American, even though they acted like they were Norwegian, and they're cheesy. I don't have to talk about Manowar. Favorite songs off this album, definitely. Where is it? Metal Warriors. If you're not into metal, you are not my friend. Pretty much. That's what I always talk about. Power of Thy Sword, Demon's Whip, Master of the Wind, and that long ass song, Achilles' Agony and Ecstasy, in 8 parts, 29 freaking minutes. Way too long. Here's one of the classic bands everybody talks about and knows about in power metal, is Blind Guardian. I don't listen to a lot of the Blind Guardian. I only have maybe 5 or 6 of their albums. Hansi Kirsch's vocals are really unique, unlike any other vocalist I've ever heard. This might be my favorite. I don't know, a lot of people like Imaginations from the Other Side. I don't have it. Their 95 album, which is considered their best album for most, but I like the Bard song, Time, What Is Time, Theater Pain, Ashes to Ashes. This is just an entire track. It's just really good. Early Blind Guardian is awesome. I also have like Night at the Opera. I think it's very underrated. A lot of people don't like it. Next up, maybe the most busy band in metal. Another album coming out this year. They sound amazing live. I saw them in Pittsburgh once, 9 years ago. Primal Fear, Ralph Sheepers, formerly of Halloween, or no, Gamma Ray. He was in Gamma Ray, and close enough, Kai Hansen. This is my favorite Primal Fear album. The early Primal Fear, like this one, self-titled Black Sun, the best Primal Fear. It kind of got stale after a while. I mean, there's no bad Primal Fear albums, but it's something about the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s Primal Fear. You can't go wrong. Angel in Black, Kiss of Death, title track, Eye of the Eagle, Living for Metal. Yeah, I mean, Ralph should have been picked for. I like Tim Owens, don't get me wrong, but Ralph should have been picked for Rob Halford when he left. Next up is kind of a 2-for-1. First off, Avantasia. This is the Scarecrow. My favorite one is the Metal Opera. I'm not sure which one I prefer. I think Part 1. Don't have those. But I have this one. And it's really good. You know, Twisted Mind with Alice Cooper. Because, you know, Tobias Sammet always brings in, you know, guests on every damn album. A bunch of them. The title tracks, Carry Me Over, the ballad. No, the Toy Masters is the one with Alice Cooper. Maybe Twisted Mind is. I haven't listed this one for a while. Yeah, it's a solid album. There's one with might be on a different album. I was thinking the one with the Kloss Main, but I don't know. I can't remember the title. And now this one, Ed Guy, I did a video on them too. Probably the only person on YouTube. I definitely am the only one with 220 volt. Early Ed Guy's the same way. They got too cheesy for me. I mean, I still like the later albums, and I wish they would make a new one. Like Space Police is pretty damn bad. They should at least make up for that mistake and release at least one more album. But I don't know. Toby has no intention of making a new album anymore. This one is my favorite probably, but then you got Theater of Pain, you got Mandrake, all amazing albums. But then, you know, the title track, How Many Miles, Out of Control, good song. Scarlet Rose, ballad. Walk On Fighting, another song. Yeah, No More Fooling. And it's just an awesome power metal record. A lot of people don't give it enough credit. I want to fix this damn thing. I want to move it. Hopefully that light on the floor I get so I can, you know, see better. But I put the vinyl or the laser discs in front of it, so maybe it won't be as much glare. Next up, I'm going to see them. Still didn't work. See these guys with Wasp in Wheeling, of all places, in August. And Armored Saint, John Bush, first band. My favorite is this one, Symbol of Salvation. I don't have it on vinyl. I want it on vinyl. I also like March of the Saint, great debut. Rain of Fire, Last Train Home. They made a video for that. Let's see. Symbol of Salvation. Title track's a fucking awesome song. Hanging Judge. It's from the second or third Hellraiser. I'm not a huge Hellraiser guy. Can't remember which one it's from. It's one or the other. Burning Question, Spineless. It's just an amazing record. This, the debut, and I think my other one I like a lot is Raising Fear. But they're an awesome band that is very underrated. Looking forward to seeing them because I've never seen them. Or Wasp, for that matter. Next up, I had to put this in the list, even though they're cheesy as shit, and that's Dragon Force. I like Dragon Force, don't get me wrong, but I cannot listen to them very long because they're all, arpeggios, the video game type sounds. They also, I cannot, differentiate. That's a good word. A song from song. When I listen to it until maybe I hear the chorus because they all sound the damn same. But, Herman Lee and Matt Trotman, I think his name, or Topman, amazing. They're the dual guitars on this. I picked this because Through the Fire and the Flames, everybody knows that song. It pretty much brought power metal back to popularity for a short time. What else is on here? Operation Ground and Pound was also another good video they released for this album. Cry for Eternity, The Flame of Youth, and maybe my favorite off this album is the power ballad that would fit any 80s metal band, hard rock band, and that's Trail of Broken Hearts. Solid album. This one, Valley of the Damned, and the one after this one are good. I haven't kept up to date with them after that. I know they got the new singer, Mark, forget his last name. Next up, these guys were just in Ohio, but of course I didn't freaking go because I didn't want to drive 3 hours, and they were supposed to be with Halloween. Halloween stopped in Columbus 10 years ago. I went to see them. 100 people showed up, so it's no wonder they bailed on Columbus because it's such a shithole of a place for music, for metal anyway. And that is Glory of the Brave, or To the Brave, Hammerfall, debut, power metal classic. My favorite Hammerfall, one of my favorite power metal albums of all time. And Legacy of Kings is right behind it. The first two albums are amazing. I also like Crimson Thunder and Threshold, all the earlier stuff. But the first two are the best. I don't have this on vinyl. I have the other one, Legacy of Kings, on vinyl. Dragon Lies Bleeding, Hammerfall, I'm Just a Child of the Damned. I think that's a cover. Great song. Steel Meets Steel, Stone Cold. And then maybe my favorite Hammerfall song, I'm not sure what it is. And it's the title track, Glory to the Brave, and their first single. Just a fucking perfect record. If you know power metal, you know Hammerfall, you know this album. Next up, this band is iffy when it comes to power metal in general because they are like traditional heavy metal, progressive metal, and power metal all in one. It just depends on the album. They're more progressive, but they have power metal elements. Maybe their earlier stuff like Power of the Night, Sirens. But I grabbed this one because no one ever talks about this record. It's my second favorite one, and that is Savatage, Streets, Rock Opera. I guess it is more kind of power metal-y because it has the opera sound like Avantasia. Yeah, I don't know why people don't talk about this record. They always say Hall of the Mountain King, which is everybody's favorite, but not mine. Gutter Ballet's mine because When the Crowds Are Gone is one of my favorite songs. This band's hard to categorize, but I'm so glad that John Oliva is going to make one more final album. He just announced it last month, so let's hope for the best. I didn't like their last few, like Wake of Magellan, Poets and Madman. I kind of stopped after Edge of Thorns, so we'll see how it goes. Streets, good song. Jesus Saves, Downtown Jesus. Let's see. Ghosts in the Ruins, If I Go Away, one of the saddest songs. That and When the Crowds Are Gone, dedicated to myself because of my depression. Just a lot of slower piano-esque based songs. Can You Hear Me Now? Another great slow track. It's more of like a slow, somber, mood-setting album. Everyone should listen to this album. It's not quite like Sirens, of course, or Power of the Night, or it's Hall of the Mountain King, but it's great in its own way. It's grandiose, I guess, in a sense. And it's actually one of the few concept albums I actually like, because most concept albums I lose interest in because I hate following stories. Next up, fixture on the power metal scene. There they are, Gamma Ray. I don't have a lot of Gamma Ray albums. I want to get more. Their 90s shit, vinyl, fucking ridiculous, like New World Order, or No World Order. Or not No World Order. That's one of them, but that's my second favorite. But Land of the Free, that's the one that's everybody's favorite. It might be my favorite. That is really good. No World Order, this one's good, and Sigh No More. I have that on CD over there. The Silence, Heading for Tomorrow, Heaven Can Wait, Lust for Life, all awesome tracks with Ralph Sheepers on vocals. So it actually had a Kai Hansen thing, and I took it out because I don't know why it says Kai Hansen, or it says Gamma Ray Kai Hansen. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I left it over there, but I'm like, why the hell did they do that? I don't think this is original because it says Gamma Ray Kai Hansen, but it might be. It says 89, so it could be original. The Silence is just an epic song. It's like 10 minutes. Typical power metal, grandiose, real big, story epic type song. Next up, my favorite band from Finland, a fixture on the power metal scene, one of the best bands ever in power metal. That's Stratovarius. This is Destiny. A lot of people think the one before this is the best. I actually don't have it at the moment, which is Visions. But you cannot... Timo Kotipelto, when he came in the band in the mid-90s, Fourth Dimension, the one with the Speed of Light, I have it over there, I can't think of the name of it. This one and Visions are all power metal classics. And even the last one with Timo Tolkki on vocals, Dream Space, I think is what it's called, or Dreamscape, something like that. Don't have that either. That was actually pretty awesome, even though he's not much of a singer. But you go from Kai Hansen, the father of power metal, to Timo Tolkki, which is pretty much his brother of power metal. They're both legends. The ones favorites on this one are the title track, Sing the Anthem of the World. It's a great epic power metal song. Cold Winter Nights, which is also on Intermission. Let's see. 4,000 Rainy Nights, great song. They made a video for that one. And I wanted to show this because their 90s records and early 2000s records are very hard to find, and they're worth a lot of money. So I got one of these. It's not my favorite, near my favorite. This is the Elements first part. The second one's better, but I couldn't pass this up. It was only released in Finland. Yeah, pure white vinyl. It's worth probably a couple hundred at least. So it's definitely one of the cool pieces in my collection. And Eagle Heart, a fucking awesome tune they made a video for. And the last two, don't want to keep you too long. It's almost 20 minutes getting there. This guy not considered power metal, but I consider him power metal in a sense, even though it's more traditional metal because of his fantasy lyrics. He's the god of metal. And he started power metal pretty much with all the lyrical content, you know, the dragon, and I forget what the hell they call him. Yeah, his mascot. I can't think of it off the top of my head. And, you know, all that visionary imagery and, you know, grandiose, like, there's that word again. His stage shows when you had like the dragon and you slay it at the, you know, Dio. You can't go wrong with Dio. And this is one of the best albums ever made. Holy Diver. Don't really need to talk about Holy Diver. Everybody knows it, you know, title track, Stand Up and Shout. Stand Up and Shout. Straight Through the Heart. Rainbow in the Dark. Just a rainbow in the dark. If not for Dio, metal would not be where it is today. You know, he's such a short guy, but his power vocalists, for, I don't know, he brought so much to the world of hard rock and metal. It's, you know, I don't think we'll ever see that again. So, the last one I'm going to do is my favorite power metal album ever, and it's not a surprise to most people probably. That's Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2. First one's awesome. This one's even better. And, you know, there's not a bad song on this album. Eagle Fly Free. It's the rise and fall, the price for all. Dr. Steen, marching out of time. Fuck, I forget how it goes. It's been forever. And I want out. How I feel about where I live. Leave me be. I want out. The video where he has it come into his mouth, and it's pretty cool. It has a band playing, and then of course the epic title track, 13 minutes. It's better than Halloween from the first album. That's Keeper of the Seven Keys. Yeah, there's not much that can be said about Halloween. They are the pioneers of power metal. My favorite power metal band. One of my favorite power bands in general. So that's my list. Yeah, I'm not much of a reviewer because I haven't listened to a lot of these albums forever. And, you know, with my ADHD, I don't want to go back and listen to them 30 fucking times just to say, oh, here's a good song. Listen to this song. Yeah, that's the bitch of it. But I want to thank you for watching. As always, I'll definitely do a second part. Next time I'll probably put some more obscure bands in the list just to give them more loving. Because, you know, most of these bands people know from power metal. Almost all of them. And other ones I have a few I didn't put in here that deserve a place in power metal history too. So I'll put a video like I always do at the end here. Please subscribe, it helps a lot, and I'm always open to talk metal or horror or anything really. So rock on. Hopefully I'll see you soon, but I don't know when I can make a video again. So until next time, keep the horns up. See you later.